Good morning, Niagara. You're tuned into Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here, it's not just about fixing cars, it's about keeping you rolling, saving you money, and giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood. From the classics to the commuters, the weird noises to the what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your coffee if you're just sliding through the takeout window, double check your order, lock it down in your cup holder, and head on down the road and join the crew this morning. Keep an eye on the other guy. We know who he is because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, a few good laughs. And I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins, and we are shifting it into drive right now on day number 5 of a brand new year. I hope you rang the new year in super strong and hard. And just a little conversation yesterday, grabbing a few things at the supermarket with the teller, saying, I said to her, "Are you going to make it a great year?" She goes, "Everybody says that, this is going to be the best year ever." And I said, "Well, we all have to stand together, don't we? And support one another, love each other, encourage each other, and show empathy to those that are struggling and going through some pretty rough times." She goes, "I've never heard anybody say that before." I said, making it the best year ever is a mindset. And that's what we're going to be talking about this morning. Our topic, are you ready for it? I hope so. I can't find it. Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, I can find it. 5 common mistakes, maintenance mistakes, that cost drivers thousands of dollars. Yep, that's my goal for 2026, is to help you discover the mindset of vehicle ownership and learning the basic fundamentals of that, owning and operating an automobile. The basic fundamentals are what's going to save you thousands of dollars. So stick around, because we also have the 30-day fuel savings tip challenge coming up early in the first quarter. So another way that I can help you to give yourself close to a $2,000 raise in 2026. Does that caught your attention? Yep. But you know what? I can't do it for you. I can only be your coach. And if you're willing to listen and do, you're going to get pretty close to a $2,000 bonus. Yeah, this year. And I have some other nuggets that will also save you a lot of time, money, and a few bloody knuckles. So in every episode that we put together here on iHeart Radio, remember we're on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple, and all the other platforms as well. So wherever you pull your podcasts from, just search Car Connection Workshop, and you will find us. You'll find us there. We have right now. Today is Series 1, Episode 52 already, and coming off 31 years of having our car show, live call-in automotive program called Car Connection on a number of different radio stations live. We did it live. I would only do 52 Saturdays in the year. I'd get 52 shows done in 1 year. And we've only launched on podcast the last 6 weeks. I think we're in week number 7. Today is 52 broadcasts right here on iHeartRadio. We want to thank them for helping us to get our podcasts out there. So share us with your family, your friends, your circle of friends, and become part of our Car Connection crew, and we'd appreciate that. Everything we talk about lives at our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. That's the long version, short version, ccbusnet.com. It's the biggest drawer in our toolbox that provides you with all the links, all the information, our program partners, recommended businesses, and all the links to every platform that Car Connection is attached to. And Motormouth, yours truly, Motormouth. That's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. And by clicking on the business tab, you'll find our profile page there. And that's where our videographer posts reels and bloopers and outtakes and funny stuff that you will not find anywhere else. You will also be able to jump right into our merch store. And I haven't received my official Car Connection coffee mug yet, but we have, and you have an opportunity to grab. We added 6 more items into our merch store. And when you purchase merch, it's not about filling my pocket so I can get another shiny thing like this bell. Yeah. The proceeds go to help those who are struggling with addiction to get into one of the campuses, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes, to get the help, the necessary help that they need. And that's all age group, folks. Addiction is not just picking and choosing what age group. It's all age group. Yeah. There's addictions out there. Whatever addiction it is that you or someone you know and love and care about is struggling, we can't make them get help. They have to be ready to get the help. So we're reaching out as well. So when you purchase merchandise from our store, and I don't want to make this sound like, begging for anything, because I won't, you got to want to do it. There's givers and takers in the world. And, as my professor would say, you can only stand in one arena. You have to decide which one it is. So to whom much is given, much is required. And that's the way I live my life. I don't need another shiny thing. But you know what? If we can do something to change somebody else's life, that's a really good tool to have in the toolbox. So that's what our merch store is all about. Not only are you supporting us by showing off your merch, but also you got to know in your heart that you're helping someone to get to one of the addiction campuses. So let's jump right in this morning and let you know that Car Connection is brought to you by a number of program partners and recommended businesses that make it all possible. And without it, we would not have made it through 31 years of radio. But it's so nice to know when I'm on the microphone, we're reaching north, south, east, and west. Yeah. And if you can't remember that, it's Norman eats watermelon sandwiches. Yeah. Figure that one out. Exactly. Norman eats watermelon sandwiches. North, south, east, and west. I heard that somewhere in a couple of minutes ago. Hey, that's a great way of remembering that, isn't it? And, well, Car Connection is brought to you by Crystal Ridge Dream Center. Their job is nonprofit, faith-based organization reaching and serving men, women, children meals, love, hope, after-school programs, and changing lives one at a time in the Niagara region. In times when community support is crucial, Crystal Ridge Dream Center shines as a beacon of compassion and transformation. Check them out. Car Connection has always selected a nonprofit, faith-based organization to come alongside to make awareness what they're doing. They are really changing lives, and they're open this very day. They'll be open today and back in the swing of things after the holidays. And thank you to Earl and Louise Grant, City Auto Sales and Leasing. They have owned and they deserve the title Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store for over the last 25 years. They have lots of resources to be able to find low mileage, top quality vehicles and offer them to you at fair prices. City Auto Sales and Leasing. Buy with confidence. Be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. If they don't have the vehicle you're looking for, let Earl and Louise Grant, their car guys, and I'll tell you, Earl is fussy. They sell no junk. Their vehicles look like brand spanking new inside and out. And I often think, are those the ones that are hermetically sealed like a Ziploc bag? Maybe, but there's a vehicle waiting for you. Let them do the legwork using all the resources to find that specific vehicle that works for you and your family. And thank you to Rita and Ramiz Chanute up at Rainbow Motors and Garage in Scarborough, Ontario. Been a part of Car Connection for many years now. Sales and service you can trust. So if you're in the Scarborough area, that is your best connection. Rainbow Motors and Garage. You can buy a vehicle there, get it serviced there. They fix all years, makes, and models, including light commercial vehicles as well. Sales and service you can trust. That's Rainbow Motors and Garage. Our certified financial planning professionals, Tony Miele and Larry Tetro, combined have 50 years experience as fiduciaries. They work with one of the largest companies in the entire planet that we spin on, IG Wealth Management, investment portfolios, dealing with debt, estate planning, that's powers of attorney, the whole package. And I just want to say, I hear these cake mix wills, kits that you can buy. Don't do it, folks. If you read the whole thing through, when you get to the very, very fine print, it says you should have this checked by an attorney. So you might as well have it done properly so that it's airtight, that your final wishes are truly carried out. So don't get caught up in that. I can get it done for like $20. No, you can't. It'll go in probate for the next 40 years. By the time that's finished with, there won't be any estate left whatsoever because the government will have taken all the money. You have to understand these things, and mortgages and more. Life insurance, critical illness insurance. Book an hour and a coffee. That's a discovery meeting. It is available to you through me. Yeah, these two guys are my brothers from other mothers. That's what we say. And we've known each other well over 20 years. They are both, Tony and Larry, are my financial planners, have helped me through some very tough times dealing with debt and getting financially wiped out, not once, but 3 times, not by choice, making some bad decisions, listening to people that don't have the fruit on the tree. So when I say, if somebody in family, your work, your circle of friends is giving you financial advice, if their feet are not standing where you want to be, smile, be respectful, and get out of Dodge. Book that hour and a coffee. No sales, no condemnation. Get your questions properly answered. If you have investments with the bank, you are not making any money. They're ripping you off. And I can say that because they are. A number of my friends transferred out their GICs, their GICs, and now they're invested properly. They're actually making money. They set up a TFSA. They didn't even know what that was, that it could be invested while it's in your TFSA and build your TFSA more money tax-free savings. These are the things that you need to get answers to, and you have that opportunity. So connect with Tony Miele or Larry Tetro. It's a brand new year. I know I'm talking a bit more about this. It's a brand new year, and these are areas that many people are talking about behind closed doors with intense moments of fellowship between husband and wife. And it makes for a very rocky, rough household. Am I right? Yes, it does. It breaks relationships. It upsets your kids. It's just something that can be fixed by simply making a phone call, connecting, and booking an hour and a coffee discovery meeting to get your questions answered. And do it. It's early we're heading into the first quarter. Let's head in strong, right? This is the way you can do it. And no one wants to hear about budgeting. Yeah. And no one wants to hear a list of things you should not do. But here is another tool in our Car Connection toolbox that can set you free of all those things that keep you up at night. So take advantage of that. Both Tony and Larry, they don't need any more clients. But they promised in 2007 to Car Connection listeners on radio that if you reach out, they'll reach in. So Don't waste their time if you're going to kick the tires. But you know what? Here is a great opportunity for you to turn things around. If he won't do it, ladies, you do it. If she won't do it, fellas, that's right. Take the zipper from the back, put it to the front, and you do it. Pick up the phone, book that hour and a coffee, meet by Zoom, by phone, in the boardroom in St. Catharines, or they'll come right, either one will come right to your home. Whatever you are comfortable with, but do it. I'm speaking from my heart. I want to see you win in 2026. It's time to, my professor taught me there's wishes, there's wants, there's needs, and there's gots. And you got to decide what each one of those things is. You're sick and tired, disgusted, fed up, and bored, and broken, doing another lap around the mountain, around the park. Here's an opportunity to turn it around. And it also includes how do you prepare to purchase that next vehicle? How do you get out of stinking debt when there's more month than money? I know I'm talking your language because I hear it. Believe it or not, I've been licensed since 1988 and opened my own shop in 1991. And these are the conversations that we would have when you're dropping your car off. I'd have to listen to it. And that's when we decided that we got to do something to help and encourage one another. So I know that's a long intro, but this is a brand new year. Don't start it off the same, because we know what the term insanity means, right? If we break it down, you've probably heard it so many times, said several different ways. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And you don't know what you don't know. That's why you don't have, because if you knew what you knew, you'd have it. To know it, not do it, means you never knew it in the first place. Thank you to the Grimo family. They're our newest sponsor from Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road in Niagara Falls. They've been there since 1931, building Canada. Can you believe that? And I saw some black and white pictures in Dave Grimo's office, and I was like, that was Niagara Falls? That was Montrose Road? Lundy's Lane? Crazy. Open fields, trees. Yeah. They've got some experience. Building supplies, hardscape landscaping supplies to help you create that beautiful backyard oasis where you can just kind of hang out and relax and have some white space. They can help you line up a contractor to get it done, and they'll help you pick materials to create that space. You know what? Summer 2026 sure sounds good, doesn't it? Total Freedom Dairy and Center, New York is Addiction Campus, open to Canadian residents as well as American. They also have another campus run by Rick and Robin. And let me tell you, they have a story to tell. When it comes to addictions, husband-wife team, facilitators there, Sydney, Manitoba, Canada. That is a men-only campus. New life, a brand new heart, a new life awaits you there, no matter what age group you are. And, you can't fight what you can't see. They're an alternative addictions program bringing centered healing and restoration to individuals and families enslaved by cycles of addiction and destructive behavior. When people are in addictions, they can be super nasty, and I've experienced that. And you'll hear and you'll be called everything under the sun, but it's not until they make that decision that today's the day. I'm fed up, sick and tired, disgusted, and bored, and I'll do anything to get away from that. That's how it can happen. It's not a program at either campus. You go there, you stay there, and guess what? Life is going to change. So if you or someone again, a brand new year, let's change some lives. All right, well, let's jump into our conversation this morning. Enough said on that. We don't want to beat that donkey all to death. But let's have a swiggy together. I've got mine all ready here. I haven't even tasted it, so we'll see how that turns out. Get your 16-pack Crayola crayons, your leaf bag that's all folded up nice like a laptop, and get your co-pilot today. Take some notes for you. Crayons never let you down. Pens suck. I'm just saying that. Yeah. Yeah, you can go to the cup or the jar, whatever you have with all those pens in there, and you can probably go through 12 and none of them right anymore. But with crayons, we got your back. All right, on 3, 2, 1, let's have a swiggy together. Keep your eye on the road if you're driving. Thank you for inviting us in to your world this morning, and we're definitely honored to have you a part of Car Connection in our Car Connection workshop. So we're in this thing together. 3, 2, 1. Superb. Yeah. You know, I heard that word watching something the other day. Superb. And I go, man, when was the last time you heard that term? Superb. Yeah. Long time. All right, as I promised. Yes, I did. I promised you 5 common maintenance mistakes that cost drivers thousands in wasted dollars every single year. Here is the thing. Owning and operating any kind of piece of equipment, including an automobile, if you don't want to be buying these things over and over and over and over again and paying interest, making interest payments as well, then you got to grab hold of the basic fundamentals. You got to dive into those areas where, you know what, it's a little uncomfortable. That's right. Things start to pinch. Not good. Means there needs to be an adjustment. That's where it all starts. So being in a brand new year, I thought, how do we kick that off and get you thinking in the right direction? Because as my professor would say to me, he goes, Niall, I've been 35 years in psychology. You know, my job is, it's easy. And I go, really? He goes, yeah. He said, all I got to do is get people to think. But he says, where my job gets seriously difficult is, but then I got to get them to think right. He goes, that is where the challenge comes in. And I got to thinking about that. That so translates over into automotive. It sure does. Because I got to get you to think about your automobile in a whole new aspect. Not looking at it, that thing costs us money that we don't have. Well, if you don't have a plan to change that, it's like New Year's resolution. Very few people can pull it off. You should be putting down goals and dreams and things you want to accomplish, and one big, hairy, bodacious goal for you to run hard. Because what is your reason for getting out of bed every morning? Oh, I got to go to work. Monday morning. Crap, it's Monday. Yeah, exactly. And then, your order through the takeout window gets botched up, and you just let that ruin your whole week. No, and no. You've got to get a plan. You've got to be on the side of Big Mo all the time. When you're on side with Big Mo, you're going to get there. You're going to win the battle. There's going to be a victory. And when you come out at the end, you go, wow, we made more money this year. How did you do it? Well, you got to have a plan. You've got to have an action plan. And you can talk about stuff all day long because there's wishes, there's wants, there's needs, and there's gots. The gots are things that you have to survive. Needs are also things that you must have. Those are the must-haves in order to survive. Wishes without a plan doesn't happen. That's why I hear people already saying, well, Yeah, we say that every year. It's going to be the greatest year ever. I said, well, make it. I said to the girl at the checkout yesterday, then make it a great year. Your job for you is to make it a great year and sit down and plan it out. Strategize. Or are you already giving up? And she looked at me and she goes, no one has ever said that to me before. I said, well, that's what I do. You know what? I don't listen to the negative Nellies and the negative Normans. Yeah, because you know what? Destructive criticism is the death gargle of a loser. Period. My professor trained me to know that. He said, you never take advice from anyone who's not where you want to be. So when it comes to automotive, yeah, our 07 FJ Cruiser is going to be part of the 400K club this year. And the 99 Honda Civic DX, the Rocket, is going to be part of the 300K club this year, and then some, perhaps. And, how do we get there? Got to have a plan. It doesn't happen on its own. You got to have a plan. So you're going to get a plan today. 5 common maintenance mistakes that are costing drivers thousands. I'm going to help you get a raise. Everything we talk about, you can find on our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. Everything. All the links to connect. Send me an email through there. We keep it super simple. And our podcasts are being archived there. You can also grab them off our iHeart podcast site, where after today we'll have 52 programs up there. Every single one of those programs, every single one of the videos we create for our YouTube channel, and it is Video Shoot Monday. We'll shoot probably 3-4 videos, and we're a few weeks ahead now, which is really, really good. That takes a bit of pressure off. There's still editing to do, but all those things, all those tools are available to you to create a plan. To create a plan, and guess what? Save money. Save money. And still run and own and operate an older vehicle. First and foremost, you've got to make sure you're maintaining the structural integrity of the vehicle, period. That's rust proof every single year. Yep. Put a dollar in a jar of Looney or a Toonie, into a coffee can, a jar, every single day, and you have more than enough money to get your vehicle properly rust-proofed and stop complaining. Yeah, because if you keep the structure solid, everything else is serviceable, replaceable, fixable. All right, let's jump in. Number 1, fluids. I cannot stress this enough, because most of you don't know where they are. You don't really know what they do, but they are the life's blood of your automobile. That is the beginning of the end for a lot of engines, a lot of transmissions, and that's why vehicles end up in the recycle yard long before their time. The fluids are not going to put the money light on unless you've run out of fluids. Yeah, then components are going to let you know, hey, pal, we got a big problem here. Yeah, overheating, brake pedal goes to the floor. Yeah, how many of us have experienced that? But believe it or not, you can be driving a 15, 18-year-old vehicle like I do, and you'll say, well, you're a licensed mechanic. I've heard that excuse. If I had a nickel for every time somebody mentioned that to me, I go, oh, so like because my car knows I'm a licensed service technician, it doesn't need any service. You're out of your mind. It needs service all the time. You got to stay up on it. Because you know why? I don't want to make car payments. I'm done with that. I've talked about that before. But something as simple as having the fluids tested and changed on time. That's the clue. The fluids are protecting some very valuable components. Yeah, if you had 15 $1,000 bills stacked up on your kitchen table, would you leave the room? That's a question for you to answer. I'd be like, you know what? If I lost $20 in the driveway, I'm tripping you on the way there so I can get to it before you do. Absolutely. Even if it's $2, I'm tripping you before you get there and find it. That's what I'm talking about. These are the basic fundamentals. Whether you just bought the car yesterday or you've had it a period of time and you know you're neglecting it, that's where you're not saving any money. So this mindset has to change. Well, I'm not going to look, therefore then it doesn't need to be done, right? Oh, I don't want to know. If I don't know it, then you know what? It's going to go away. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you want to put money back in your pocket, it's the only way I can help you to do so. That's a little service. Fluids need to be checked, tested, verified, and get them changed. Get them changed because the components that those fluids are protecting, power steering, automatic transmission, engine oil, brake fluid, yeah, and differential fluid, transaxle fluid, transfer case fluid. These vehicles, I don't care what salesman, bring them to me. I'll eat his lunch and take his milk money. They're not maintenance free. That's what they want you to believe. Many of you have bought into it, and that's costing you thousands. That advice is costing you thousands of dollars per year. So again, in 2026, you want my help? I can help you give yourself a raise from several different directions and still have an automobile that's healthy, strong, and running like a wild pony. Yeah, but it's up to you. The decision is yours to make. If we can't even maintain something as simple as fluids, then we're already beat. You're already beat right out of the gate. They will not last forever, and you may turn that key and go, I'm saving money. The car hasn't needed a single thing this past year. Oh, yes, it does. Bring it to me. I'll prove it to you that there's stuff that's not maintained. And if you keep going, here's what happens. It either comes in on a flatbed or a tow truck, and now the list begins. All those miles that you thought you were getting for free, maintenance free, the car hasn't broken down, the money light hasn't come on, everything's good, we're rolling. Bam! Now what? Someone's going to pay the piper now. That every kilometer that you didn't do anything is now going to cost you, and now you're losing and bleeding money. And you go, oh, what a piece of crap that thing is. No. Look, go to the bathroom, close the door, look in the mirror, and say, you idiot. It was you. Yep, I did this. Ownership. You got to own it. You did it, not the service mechanic, not the car manufacturer. You did it. So fluids, they all need to be tested, verified, and replaced on time. On time. Not extending services. And I've talked about that topic in one of our podcasts. Number 2, filters. Engine, transmission, cabin air filter. Yeah, you can leave them in there until everything goes south on you, but then you're going to pay the piper. Then you're losing money. You're losing. We need to replace filters on time. On time. All these things are going to put money back in your pocket. Why? Because your vehicle will go to the 600K club. That's how you get there. This isn't rocket science for me. I understand the fundamentals. I'm not trying to sell you anything because you know what? Your car is not my own. It's not. I do exactly everything I share with you. I do it myself because I looked after fleets and I got to understanding Hey, if you just keep rotating this pattern, you can save a lot of money. Yeah. So I bought into it decades ago. Filters need to be replaced on time, not waiting until, you're trying to defrost the windshield and you can't even get a breath out of the HVAC system in your car because the cabin air filter's plug solid, man. Yeah, ladies, gents that are in love with your vacuum, if you don't change the filter, it really sucks, doesn't it? Not really. But you're like, why is it taking so long to clean up this stuff here? Well, when was the last time you changed the filter? Oh, yeah. That's usually what I hear. When was the last time you changed your fuel filter? I don't know. An IDK? I don't know. There you go. The fuel pump doesn't know when the fuel filter is restricted from debris because it's purifying the fuel. And there's a lot of crap in the fuel. Lots. Go and watch the video on our YouTube channel where I take apart a fuel filter and show you actually what's in there. You'll go, whoa, dude, what is that stuff? Exactly. So filters, you change them before the car tells you you should have changed it. Because remember, there's cause and effect. Cause and effect. It's never one item. It's because this happened. Because this happened. And this happened. Number 3, suspension and steering. You could bring me select, go down to the Big W store and put a big orange round sticker on the windshield and mark 10 vehicles, and we're going to check the front end on all the steering components, suspension components. I guarantee you 7 out of 10 have problems in the suspension and steering. Yeah, the components haven't broken and fallen off and left you there on the side of the soft shoulder of the road, but they will. They will. We need to know if there are components worn out. Simple as that. Because when stuff breaks with front-wheel drive vehicles, it does a lot of damage, friends. It does a ton of damage. Emotional damage. Exactly. Comes along with that. And it could have been avoided if someone's checking the suspension and steering components so you don't get caught in that corner where tie rod breaks, inner or outer, or a lower ball joint, control arm, all those things. If you can't stop it and steer it, nothing else really matters, right? Number 4, just a little more on the steering. Man, there's potholes out there big enough to swallow a Hyundai Accent and cover it up with some cold patch. The roads are harsh, and it's beating up our front end components, steering components, all the time. You're hitting those big sunk-in manhole covers. Ba-boom! That is tough on ball joints and control arms. Everything gets jarred in the front end. That's what takes it out is, keep an eye on the roadway. I know specific roads that, I know which lane to get out of because there are big kabong potholes. And that's where I call those ball joint bashers. Because if you ride that same road every day, which you might going to work and listening to me right now, and you hit the same potholes and the same sunk-in manhole covers, you definitely got something going on in the front end suspension and steering. So we need to stay ahead of that so you don't get into thousands of dollars of needless repairs. And change your driving habits. Slow down. Get out of that lane. Those potholes are there and those sunk-in manhole covers. Yeah. Number 4, brakes. Another area. All of you wait until you're hearing grinding. There's some funky noises coming out of the wheels for some reason. You don't do any work on the brakes until the next time they're broken. And then you need a ton more parts to bring the system back to life. Another raise this year. Having the brakes fully inspected and serviced twice a year, minimum. Twice a year, every 6 months. Twice a year. And not waiting until everything's grunching, grinding, scraping, making noises, and then you get the list. It needs everything. What? Exactly. What? It's going to cost what? And that's when I say, had you been coming in and letting us check and make recommendations for brake service, could have saved yourself $1,000. That easy. And that is simple. $1,000. Yeah. Oh, we just need to do pads and rotors. Calipers are fine. They have been pushed beyond their limit. Everything else is looking good. We don't have seized caliper pins. Some of these calipers are go over $400 a piece. $360 plus tax. Do it. Do the math. Yeah, and you need two. But when it gets to rear disc brakes, it's even more complicated because the emergency brake is packed in there too. And most of you aren't using that. We'll talk about that in another program. Yeah, absolutely. And number 5, alignments. Should have tied that in with number 3, steering. But anyways, should have an alignment, 4-wheel alignment once a year. Once a year. Why? Because if your steering geometry is out, that means your tires are scrubbing down the road. Here's what's happening. You're wearing out tires very quickly, prematurely. That's money out of your pocket. So if we avoid that, guess what? Oh, I don't need to buy 2 tires go on the front because you burn the sidewalls out or the tires are cupped. They've been scraping down the road. You know how much money in lost fuel economy that creates when the steering geometry is out of whack? Another raise this year. Yep. You're going to want to sign up for the 30-day fuel savings challenge because that alone can bring back home $2,000 a year in savings. $2,000 just on that. Now imagine all these 5 things I've talked about this morning. 5 common maintenance mistakes that are costing drivers thousands. Keep adding it up. It's money back in your pocket. That's what it is. It's a mindset. Learning some basic fundamentals like what I just talked about. Number 5, we need to make sure that the vehicle is rolling down the road, not pushing the tires down the road. Lost fuel economy, premature tire wear, it's just more money. Components may be worn out. That's why the alignment's out of whack. Yeah. Again, you could pick 10 vehicles at the Big W store. We could put them on the alignment rack one at a time, and I'll guarantee you there's a great possibility that 10 out of 10 needed adjustments to bring the steering geometry back in order. Yeah. Again, no service light, no weepy light's going to come on, no panic mode in the car telling you need a wheel alignment. Should be done once a year minimum. Bring the steering geometry back in order so that you're saving fuel economy, tires, etc. If there's worn out steering components, they need to be changed so that steering geometry comes back in. That is your 5, big 5 today. 5 common maintenance mistakes that cost drivers thousands of dollars. I'm here to help you, folks. Dial Motormouth Jenkins in the driver's seat. 4 decades as heavy-duty licensed service tech and light truck and passenger service tech. And I do equipment as well. And I'm still very much hands-on, up to speed. My licenses are current. And I also am an HVAC tech as well. I do air conditioning, heating and air conditioning on vehicles. So I'm here to help you. I'm not here to hurt you. Have some laughs, drink some lousy coffee sometimes, and I want to work hard for you, but you got to, as my prof would say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, here he is. I don't know how many other service techs out there are helping you to keep your vehicle intact and get you started on a maintenance program because it's money in your pocket. You have to look at it as you're putting something out, but you're getting more back. And that's exactly how it works. If you owned a trucking company with 375 units to look after, if they could save $1,000 a year on fuel expenses, they're in. They're all in. I've had meetings like that with huge companies. I showed them how they could save fuel expenses, and they were like, we're all ears. And I wrote it out on a whiteboard for them and showed them how to do it. Yeah, and their tire guy was not impressed. In fact, yeah, I had to back off on that because we actually were being headhunted, a group of us that were helping um, big companies save money, not blowing tires out, having insurance claims, not wasting fuel economy. Yeah, we had a product that would do that, and it worked. It worked 100%. Yeah, so the tire repair guys, on-site tire repair guys, we were not their heroes. Yeah, they wanted us gone. Like, you can shut up now and get out of the boardroom. You need to leave. That's my money for my family. Anyhow, I can tell you some stories. Yeah, we were headhunted big time. It was bad. It got really, really bad. So, anyhows, till next time, it's Monday. Make it a super, super duper great day, a superb day. Peace, patience, and kindness. Keep it under 100. Watch out for the other guy. And we'll see you in the next one. Make it a great day. Bye for now. Good morning, Niagara. Stick around. We have got a great program for you this morning. 5 common maintenance mistakes that cost drivers thousands of dollars. Thousands. My task in a brand new year, welcome to day 5 of a brand new year. We haven't had enough time to mess it up just yet. My vision is to help you to understand the mindset of vehicle ownership. Many of you fall into the exact same trap every single time. And all you really need to do is change your mindset, grab hold of learning some of the basic fundamentals of an automobile. It's not complicated. The world makes it complicated.